First in, Senegal has requested that the United Nations Security Council authorize the West African regional group ECOWAS to take all necessary measures to ensure a transfer of power in the Gambia. Senegal troops have also moved towards the Gambian border. Meanwhile, unconfirmed reports say Gambia's Vice President Isatou Njie-Saidy has also resigned amid mounting pressure for Jammeh to step down. Mauritanian President Mohamed Ould Abdel Aziz is reported to have landed at Banjul International Airport to meet Jammeh in last-minute attempts to rescue him. For the latest, we are now going to speak to Pansy Tlakula, Chair of the Commission on People and Human Rights at the African Union. Pansy, good evening and thank you so much for joining us. Now, do you have information on what is happening at the moment?
Good evening. What I can tell you is that, I think we need to be clear that I'm speaking from a human rights perspective as the chairperson of the African Commission on Human and People's Rights. Our headquarters is in Banjul, the Gambia. The latest that I have is that we have evacuated our staff. We evacuated them this afternoon to Banjul, the Gambia. And what they informed me is exactly what you were reporting about regarding a number of ministers who have resigned. And I got unconfirmed reports this evening that the outgoing president has sacked all his ministers and requested them to hand over all the cars. So these reports are unconfirmed, but the situation, as I am informed, is very tense, and that Banjul, which is the capital city of the Gambia, is almost a ghost town because most people have fled into Senegal.
Now, Pansy, do you have people on the ground monitoring the situation currently?
Well, as I said, the only people that we had on the ground where I could get first-hand information was our staff, the Secretary of the Commission and the Deputy Secretary of the Commission, who left this afternoon because we could not guarantee their safety. So the chairperson of the African Union Commission, Dr. Zuma, instructed that they should be evacuated.
Are you not worried about the violation of people's human rights?
Look, you know, I've been a member of the African Commission on Human and People's Rights since 2005. And I was the commissioner responsible for the Gambia at some point. And I am also the special rapporteur on freedom of expression and access to information in Africa. If you can go into the website of the African Commission, you will see the number of statements, the number of resolutions, the number of letters that we have written to President Jammeh regarding a whole host of human rights violations, including the violation of freedom of expression, freedom of association, freedom of assembly. I mean, the list is long. The last resolution that we passed against the Gambia was actually at the November session, November 2016. So, as the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, I am satisfied that we have put the spotlight on the Gambia over a number of years. If only those resolutions were implemented, then maybe we would have been talking a different story. These violations have been going on for many years with impunity.
Now, with Jammeh having initially accepted defeat and stating that he would step down and let a Barrow to take over, what happened exactly? Do you have any idea with regards to what then changed his mind for him to not continue and then decide that he wants to continue as president of the Gambia?
I don't know. I was actually very surprised when I saw him on television accepting the results, and I said that was uncharacteristic. And I thought that there was something wrong with him accepting the results, because having observed him over the years, that is not his style. And I was not shocked, I must say, when he then made a U-turn. That was then characteristic of him, I must say.
Now, with reports, Pansy, we just had in our intro there that reports of Abdel Aziz coming in, the president of Mauritania, coming in to sort of rescue or to get Jammeh out of the country. What's the situation there? Do you have any details with regards to that? And is this a sort of reaction that is required or needed from ECOWAS? As just looking at it from as chairperson of the Human Rights Commission of the African people.
Well, for me, we are looking at ECOWAS. We are monitoring what ECOWAS is going to do as the regional community. And of course, in terms of the rules and procedures of the AU will first give ECOWAS the opportunity to try and resolve the matter. And if it is not resolved, then the AU will step in. But from the human rights perspective, we are saying if the violations continue unabated, and if this time around ECOWAS and AU cannot deal decisively with the situation in the Gambia and with the situation of President Jammeh, then we are in trouble as the African continent. Because if you look at Gambia, it's a tiny, tiny country on the continent, and if we cannot contain what is going on in the Gambia, being one of the tiniest countries on the continent, I don't know how will be able to deal with human rights violations in big countries.
Pansy, before I let you go, is the Gambia going to be a continued topic of discussion at the AU summit?
I think so. Inevitably, the activity report of the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, which I will be presenting at the summit, has a resolution on the Gambia, and I have no doubt in my mind that there will be extensive discussion on the situation in the Gambia. And I think I've also been following some reports of analysts who are questioning, and have been doing that for a very long time, to say, should the African Commission on Human and People's Rights continue to be based in the Gambia? And it's something that I think the African Union will have to address at some point.
Pansy, thank you so much for joining us. We have to leave it there for now. That was Pansy Tlakula, Chair of the Commission on People of Human Rights at the African Union.